I took in my niece after her mom passed away. I gave her a room, paid for her school, treated her like my own. One night, I heard whispering from the living room. I thought it was the TV. It was her, curled up next to my husband, laughing. When I asked what was going on, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Guess you weren't woman enough." I packed their things that night, called CPS, and filed for divorce. 2 weeks later, she was arrested for stealing my identity. I'm 46 and live in Asheville, North Carolina. A quiet area, good neighbors, and the kind of town where you get to know the folks at the diner just from showing up enough. I've lived here 10 years with my husband, Sean. We never had kids, not because we didn't want them. 3 miscarriages took that dream away. After the last one, I stopped trying. Sean said it was okay, that we had each other. I believed him. My sister Michelle was always a mess. She partied hard, made bad choices, and barely held on to jobs. She had her daughter, Chloe, when she was 19 and alone. I tried to help where I could, but Michelle didn't want anyone judging her. I backed off when she pushed me out, but I always kept tabs from a distance. Michelle overdosed last spring. Fentanyl laced in something I don't know. It wasn't a shock. She'd been spiraling for years. Chloe was 17. Suddenly alone. No father in the picture. No grandparents left. Just me. When the social worker called, I didn't hesitate. I told them I'd take her in. She was blood. I loved her. I still do, in a way I can't fully explain, even now. She came with a single duffel bag. No real goodbye from anyone. Her face was hard, like someone who's had to fight to survive too long. But under that was a scared kid. I promised her she was safe now. I told her this was home. She barely said a word that first week. Just stayed in her room, quiet, eyes stuck to her phone. I let her be. I thought she needed time. Sean was great with her. Too great, maybe, but I didn't think like that back then. He gave her rides to school, helped with her homework, even cooked her favorite meals when he found out what she liked. I thought he was just stepping up, being the father figure she never had. I gave up my office for her, moved the desk into the laundry room, bought her clothes, a new laptop, all the stuff she needed for school, got her into counseling, paid out of pocket. She started smiling more, laughing again. For a while, I felt proud. Like maybe I had saved her from the same fate as her mom. But small things started to shift. She started dressing differently. Tighter clothes. Makeup that made her look older. At first, I thought she was just trying to fit in at school. Then I noticed the way she looked at Sean. The way she laughed at his dumb jokes a little too loud. The way her hand lingered on his shoulder when she passed him the remote. I brushed it off. Told myself I was being paranoid. Then came the night. It was a Tuesday. I had a late board meeting at the animal shelter. Got home just after 10. The house was dark except for a soft glow from the living room. I thought Sean had fallen asleep with the TV on. I started to head down the hallway. That's when I heard whispering. Low, close. Not from the TV. From people. I stopped. Listened. Then I walked slowly toward the living room. And there they were. Chloe was curled up on the couch, right next to Sean. Way too close. Her legs draped over his lap. She was giggling, whispering something in his ear. He leaned in like he liked it. My chest went ice cold. I must have made a sound, because they both turned. Chloe didn't flinch. She didn't jump up, didn't look guilty. She just looked at me and smiled. "Guess you weren't woman enough," she said. I didn't answer. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just turned around, walked to the bedroom, and started packing bags. One for her, one for him. Sean came in, eyes wide. "Babe, wait, this isn't what it looks like." I kept folding clothes. "She needed comfort," he said. "She's just a kid. She's 17, I said. "And you're a grown man." "She came onto me," he said. "I didn't do anything." "She's a child," I said again. He started crying. Like that would fix it. I called CPS that night, reported the whole thing, told them what I saw. I didn't hold back. They opened a case. Since Chloe was so close to 18, they didn't remove her right away. but they made a note. I called a lawyer that same night, filed for divorce the next day. I thought it was over. It wasn't. 2 weeks later, I got a call from my bank. "Hi, Mrs. Reynolds. We just wanted to confirm the loan application you submitted." I hadn't submitted anything. I checked my credit. 3 new cards in my name. 2 open loans. My Amazon account was rerouted. My email had been accessed from a new device. I called the police. They started digging. They traced everything back to Chloe's laptop. Every login, every application, every account. She had used my social security number, driver's license, and even photos from my Facebook to verify identity. I didn't even know my ID was missing. When they arrested her, she was at a coffee shop trying to pick up a new debit card with my name on it. Sean bailed her out. Of course he did. He told the cops she was confused. I sent all the evidence to CPS and my lawyer. CPS reopened the case. My lawyer fast-tracked the divorce. Sean lost his job. He was a coach at the local high school. That didn't last once word got out about him and Chloe. My house is quiet now. Too quiet sometimes. But I sleep better. I trust the silence. There's more to tell. Because that wasn't the end. But that's where the real revenge started. After Chloe's arrest, I thought maybe it was over. She was out of my house, Sean was out of my life, and the cops had everything they needed. But I was wrong. 2 weeks after her arrest, I started getting calls from debt collectors. Not just for the fake account she opened, but for loans that somehow did go through, ones I'd never even heard of. She'd opened a payday loan under my name and defaulted. Someone had used my identity to rent a car that was never returned. Turns out Chloe didn't work alone. She had a boyfriend. Older. 24. A real piece of work named Dylan, who she met at some gas station parking lot, probably buying weed. He coached her on everything. How to scam credit card companies, how to trick the system, how to play me. The police found texts between them on her phone. "I'll get the old cow's info tonight," she wrote. "She's got everything in a neat little folder in her desk, LOL. That desk was in my bedroom. She'd been sneaking in while I slept. I'll get her man too," she wrote in another. "He's already halfway there." She sent him pictures of Sean. Naked. I found those in the case files. When the detective handed me the file, I didn't cry. I wanted to, but I just sat there numb. "I'm sorry," he said. "This goes beyond identity theft. This is premeditated fraud and possibly entrapment." They added new charges to her case. Fraud, wire theft, exploitation, and her boyfriend got picked up too. They found my social security number written on a napkin in his glove box. But it didn't stop there. One night, I came home to my back window shattered. My spare keys were gone. The drawers in my bedroom flipped. Jewelry box emptied. The cops said it looked like someone was searching for something. Not just robbing me, targeting me. They think Chloe told Dylan there was more. She thought I had cash in the house, or that I had some hidden valuables. There were rumors I'd inherited money from my grandmother years back. None of it was true, but lies spread fast. I changed the locks, got cameras installed, filed restraining orders. But they already knew where I lived. They already knew me. And then came the call from Sean. "Don't hang up," he said. "I just wanted to say, I didn't know she was going to do this." "You knew enough," I said. "She played me," he said. "She used me to get to you." "No, Sean," I said. "You let her." Then he said the thing that chilled me. "She's pregnant." I didn't say anything. I couldn't. "She says it's mine," he whispered. "But it might be Dylan's." I hung up. Suddenly, everything felt darker. He wasn't just pathetic. He was dangerous. She wasn't just troubled. She was poison. I needed to know the truth. So I started digging. And what I found made everything worse. After that call from Sean, I didn't sleep much. I kept thinking about that baby. If it was his, if it was Dylan's, either way, that kid was going to be born into a mess. But deep down, I didn't think Chloe even cared about the baby. She cared about control. I started going through the case files again, digging deeper into the bank records, the emails, the applications. I noticed something strange. There were 3 attempts to access my retirement fund. Not just my savings or checking, my retirement, the one I'd built up for over 20 years of working in the school district. She tried to move it to another account. The only reason it didn't go through was because they flagged it for unusual activity and froze everything. When I called the bank's fraud department, they told me the person had even answered the security questions correctly. That was when it hit me. The questions were things only someone close to me could know. My first pet's name, the street I grew up on, my mother's maiden name. All things I had told Chloe in passing. Conversations over dinner, in the car, while folding laundry. She had been collecting answers the entire time. Every time she asked me a personal question, I thought she was bonding. I thought she wanted to know more about her aunt, about the woman who took her in. She was building a file on me. It made my skin crawl. I called the detective and told him. He said, "You're not the first victim like this. She's a manipulator. A high-functioning one. You need to prepare for court." Court. I hadn't even thought about that part yet. But then I got the letter in the mail. Chloe was contesting everything. She claimed I'd given her permission to use my identity. Said I was confused and emotionally unstable because of the divorce. She even filed a civil suit against me for emotional distress.
She was suing me.
And her lawyer? It was Sean's old friend. A guy who owed Sean a favor. So of course he took the case. I sat in my kitchen, staring at the papers and thought, she's not done until she ruins me. But that's when I decided I wasn't done either. After she sued me, I stopped crying. I stopped feeling sorry for myself, for Sean, for Chloe. I stopped telling people I'm okay and pretending I was just moving on. Because I wasn't okay. I was angry. So I decided to fight like hell. I spent weeks building my case. I printed every bank statement, email, phone log, and security camera photo I had. I even hired a private investigator, an old guy named Rick who lived a few blocks over and used to be a sheriff's deputy. He didn't charge much. Said he didn't like kids who play people. He started digging into Chloe and Dylan's records. Found out Dylan had 3 open bench warrants in Florida. Drug stuff. Theft. A DUI that hurt a teenager. That was all I needed to get him on the run. I tipped off a friend in Florida law enforcement. Within a week, Dylan was in cuffs, extradited across state lines. One piece off the board. Then came Chloe. Turns out she wasn't just playing me. She had done this before, on a smaller scale. When she was 15, she had been living with a foster family in Tennessee for 6 months. That family? They reported her for stealing from the mother's purse. Bank cards. ID. The charges got dropped because she was a minor. No one followed up. But I had the report. My lawyer got it admitted into evidence. That was the crack in her story. When court day came, she showed up smug, in a dress she must have borrowed from someone who still believed her sweet girl act. Sean sat behind her, wearing a suit that didn't fit right anymore. I didn't look at him. I told the court everything. The night I found them on the couch. The things she said. The forged documents. The missing money. The hacked accounts. My retirement nearly stolen. My voice didn't shake once. When it was Chloe's turn, she lied. Said I was jealous of her youth. That I was controlling, and that Sean had always been unhappy. That I invited her to take over. But I had proof.
Dates.
Messages.
Surveillance photo.
Her text to Dylan sealed it. The judge ruled in my favor on every count. She was convicted on 6 charges: identity theft, wire fraud, attempted grand larceny, and conspiracy. She got 2 years in juvenile detention, upgraded to adult time because she turned 18 during the process.
Sam?
He got arrested 2 weeks later. Not for Chloe, but for obstruction. Turned out he helped her hide some of the paperwork. Lied to the investigators. Hid her laptop when the cops first came around. He lost everything.
His job.
His coaching license. His reputation. And me. The cherry on top? I sold the house. It had too many ghosts. But before I moved out, I painted the living room wall black and wrote, in white letters, right above where I found them sitting, "Guess you weren't woman enough." I took a picture of it. Framed it. Hung it in my new office in my new house on the other side of Asheville. People ask me sometimes if I regret taking her in.
No.
Because now I know better. I know who I am. And I know that I survived. She tried to replace me. She tried to take my life. But in the end, I'm still standing. And she's not.